Hey everybody, BCA9, how are we? Do you know what day it is? I'm not really sure because days just don't have a feeling for me anymore. But I think we're in week 10 of distance learning, minus 1 week of spring break. So I guess it's a really total of 9 weeks. But how y'all doing? How's everyone doing? Well, here's a little lesson video lesson. I am calling Open Ended Questions Level 2. This is actually going to be a discussion based graded assignment. So you are going to be engaging with other members of class. You'll see how that transpires in a little bit. So, this particular goal is focusing on generating open ended questions and a specific level, which is called a level 2 type of question. And that's something I'll go over. And the reason being, because I noticed that with some of your open ended questions, when you read and annotated that article in the CAMI exercise or activity that was embedded here in Canvas, some of you did great, created great open ended questions. But I wanted to just really focus, hey, what is a level 2 open-ended question? What does it ask? What does it require? What are some of the expectations of that? And I'm not focusing on level 1 because level 1 is just surface type of question, such as who is the main character in the novel Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson? That's an easy answer. It's who is Melinda Sordino? Really, that's just surfacey. Or another level 1 type of question could be, where does the story take place in the novel Speak? Okay, well, the answer would be the location is. Where is the location? I totally forgot. But the location is, let's just say, it is in the Midwest, the Midwestern area of the United States. Okay. Or a better question would be, Melinda Sordino attends what high school? And that would be Meriwether High School. So again, it's just a surface type of question. It doesn't go in depth or doesn't even begin to go into depth. Whereas level 2 does. So that's what I want to focus on. And we're going to be using an article to do that. Okay. So the learning goal here, I'm going to use one of these pens and we'll go with red. The learning goal is by asking and answering open-ended questions, we begin to dig below the surface of a text, which will in turn engage in some meaningful and fruitful discussions, and sometimes an opportunity for debate. And it activates our learning, right? And it even opens up our viewpoints, something we maybe wouldn't have thought else because the question wasn't posed to us. So kind of activates those learning faculties in our brains. Okie dokie. Um, and let's take a look at the directions. You're going to be reading an article. Let's go with another color, shall we? An article here called The Long-Term Effects of Bullying. Well, you've read certain texts at this point, the physical effects of bullying, the psychological effects of bullying, and they really center around children and teenagers. There may have been some allusion to, or it alluded to, well, what are some of the long-term effects, of bullying? How does it lead to a quality of life as an adult? If a person was bullied severely as a teenager, what are those residual effects of that bullying now as an adult? Do they carry over? And it's a resounding yes, it most certainly can. So you'll read this article that really focuses around that. It's from a website called mentalhelp.net. And you're going to be creating a level 2 type of open-ended questions based on your reading. So let me go back to the cursor here. And I don't know if there's a way to erase the whole thing, but that's cool. Let's go to the pen. All right, so no, not the pen. The cursor, pointer. So when you click on the link, it takes you to this article, again, mentalhelp.net. And when you scroll down, yeah, it looks, oh my gosh, it's so many words. Yes, I know, but you're not going to be reading the whole thing. You're not going to read the whole thing. Here it is, the long-term effects of bullying. And the author of this article it's really a personal essay because the author talks about their experiences in dealing with childhood and teenagehood bullying and what that did to the author as an adult. So you will see this essay does talk about their experiences then and now. They also talk about how bullying is a form of abuse, which actually is abuse, thinking of domestic violence, um, different types of abuse like sexual abuse, neglect. Um, that actually is a module or a unit in our course that I hope we can get to. It's not really something I wanted to do on distance learning. That's why I've been kind of putting it off. But I'll see what I can muster up here. But anyway, you're going to see certain subtitles or subheadings such as bullying is abuse. Bullying causes long-term emotional damage, and this is where the author talks about how it's affected him as an adult. You are going to read up to this point right here. So where is my pen? You're going to stop right there. Okay, you're going to stop right there. Okay. So you read from the beginning where it says, you know how jokes are often funny, blah, 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 down to, where's that? There it is, right there. You know, I'm going to make it red and yellow make what? Pink? I'm not sure. I'm not a color palette expert. But there you go. You are not going to read below this line. I repeat, do not read below that line. Okay? And the reason is just because I want you to focus on these long and short term effects, and that really does a pretty good. He does a pretty good job in the beginning half of this article. And plus, you're going to be generating your questions from the beginning to this line here. Anyway, all right, let's go back to the pointer. There it is. Okay, so let's go back to the discussion module. Okie dokie. So at that point, you have read that part of the article. All right, so that's kind of step one. This is really step two, but who's counting? So step one, you've already read. Step two, you're going to create 2 level 2 questions. And again, these are questions that are digging deeper than the surface of the text. Earlier, I said a level 1 is saying, who's the protagonist of this story? Billy Bob Thornton. Okay, great. That's just a level 1 surface. Level 2 takes away the surface and starts to dig deeper. Okay. I will show you some question frames, but let me go to the second step here. After you create 2 level 2 questions, then you'll post them on this discussion, right? And then you're going to wait for your classmates to post their questions. Okay. And it's not going to be classmates from just period 1 or just period 4. It's going to be all 4 of my BCA English 9 classes. So once you start seeing other students' questions. Then you're going to reply to 2 different students by answering one of their questions. Please make sure your response is in complete sentences. Okay. Click here. You can either preview the document, which would look like this, right? You probably know. Or it'll come as a download. Okay, so you choose. You'll notice that this is shaded. Will be the next step. These are level 3 type questions, so they're shaded rather darkly. So that'll just prompt you to say, hey, we're not focusing on level 3. We're just focusing. And I realized you cannot see this. Okay, so now you can, because I guess Screencastify doesn't, it's just for internet, not Microsoft Word. But anyway, so we got the minimize thing. So this will work out just nicely. Okay. And we can zoom in. Okay, so level 2 questions, going in depth than the surface of the text, right? So I have 6 different types of level 2 questions that start digging below the text. All right, you're required to craft 2 level 2 questions. Do not use the same one. So if you use number 1 here, don't use it again. What did I say? Don't use it again. All right. So if I use number 1 here, okay, then choose another one. Okay, mix it up. So again, I repeat, do not use the same level 2 question frame. Okay, you got 6, 2 different ones. Right on. Okay, so a little, some facts, right? Or tips, facts. Level 2 questions ask how and why. They're how and why type questions, right? And they require more words. So what I mean by that is that in your level 2 questions that you generate, they're literally requiring more words in the question. Okay. It's the same thing with a response, right? If I'm responding to a level 2 type of question, my answer is going to require more words, more vocabulary, more language. Okay. These are questions that are a bit complex. All right. Not totally complex, but a bit complex, and begin digging below the surface. Okay. And just to note, when we ask and respond to level 2 questions, we explain, we compare, we analyze. There's that word analyze, right? You're going to see it a lot in your life. Okay. So let me travel back upward here. All right. So some level 2 question frames are, what could be a result or an outcome if blah, 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 blah. How did or how does blah, 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 blah. Number 3, how did or does blah, blah, blah compare to blah, blah, blah. So this is more of a comparison question, okay? Number 4, what other ways could blah, blah, blah be interpreted? Number 5, what is an example of, okay? And 6, what does blah, blah suggest that or about blah, 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 okay? So below here I took some of the level 2 question frames and then actually created questions. So this example here is saying, what could be a result if scientists do not discover a vaccine for this virus? Okay. Another example is, how did George Washington help win the Revolutionary War? How did George Washington it should read, how does George Washington compare to Thomas Jefferson? And lastly, what does the data suggest that this virus can be transmitted from human to animal? So again, you'll notice that the questions require more words, right? It's not just Who is the main character in Romeo and Juliet? Okay. And again, the responses to these 4 questions are going to require more words because they require more thought, right? So there you go with type of frames and then some examples. Okay. So essentially, you are using 2 out of these 6 questions frames to generate a question based on what you read from this article, the long-term effects of bullying. And again, it's focusing on, and again, you're just stopping there. And again, much of this essay is focusing on adulthood. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see. So let me minimize this. Okay. So one, I've read, I'd say that's probably like 75% of this article. The next thing, okay, now I'm going to create 2 level 2 questions, right? And again, I am going here to look at the question frames as well as the examples, right? Obviously, you're not using this because that wouldn't make any sense with this article. Just wanted to note that, okay? If you feel like you're a bit more advanced where you can generate, I just want to throw this out here, that you can generate your own level 2 type of, going in depth question, go for it. Okay. You don't have to be limited to use 2 different question frames from the 6 that I provided. All right. Let me minimize that. Okay. So you've come up with 2 level 2 questions, and then you just post. Okay. So it's like if I were to do that, I would hit reply, right? And I would have, okay, question 1, blah, 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 right? Question 2, blah, blah, blah. That's it. And then I click post reply right here. But I'm not going to do that. And that's it. And then you just kind of sit back and wait for other people to post as well. Please don't just sit in front of the screen. Please do other work, move around, pet your dog, pet your cat, whatever. Just kind of break the monotony, if you will. And that's pretty much it. How it's being graded. So a breakdown. So 3 points per question that you create. So that's a total of 6 points. All right. I am awarding more points for your reply. Okay, so it's 5 points per question you answer in the reply. So that's a total of 10. Right. So 2 level 2 questions that you created. Right. It's a total of 6 points. Then you wait for students your classmates to post, and then you choose which ones you want to answer. All right. And you'll be replying to 2, 5 points per question. That's a total of 10 and a grand total of 16 points, right? Also, since you're earning more points for responding to the questions, be thorough. Be thorough. How will I be monitoring this? Very easily, right? I'll see when you post your questions. I'll see when you respond to questions. And I could certainly chime in at any point and let you know, my thoughts on the question that you crafted as well as responses. Okie dokie. I think that's it. Okay. That should do it, BCA. I hope you're good. I hope my explanation was satisfactory or better. So, but if you have a question, you can get a hold of me. You can email me, but you can email using the inbox right here. That's here in Canvas. Or you can Google Meet if necessary, or send me a text message as well. Okie dokie. That should do it. Thank you. Live long and prosper. Okay, bye.